All right, welcome back to another general discussion. My name's Scott. I'm here with Ryan.
How are we, guys and girls?
Today we're going to talk about everything we know about Star Wars Legion.
Yeah, and we've trawled for a lot to find out as much information as we can. It's fair to say we're still pretty excited about this game.
Oh yeah, we've poked a few bears. Yeah. We've spoke to the man himself, Alex Davey. We spoke to a few other people at the Fantasy Flight booth. Yeah. So we sort of collated all the information that we're going to have, and we're going to bring it all to you right now.
Correct. If you haven't watched the interview we did with Alex, I suggest having a look at that. After that interview, we kept talking to him, and we managed to squeeze some more information out of him.
Yeah, he just wouldn't stop.
No, he wouldn't, which was great.
It was awesome.
It's good to go. So we'll go through some of that. We'll go through some speculation. We'll talk about some strategies on the cards. We'll talk about the base rules. And based on what we know, there's obviously a lot more to the game, but we'll talk about what we know and how we feel that'll be implemented and potentially what else we'll see going forward.
That's exactly right. We don't know everything, but what we do know, we'll bring to you right now. Yep. So we'll kick it off. We'll talk about what the game is. Correct. It's a miniatures game from Fantasy Flight.
Yes.
It's a card and upgrade system similar to what you see in X-Wing, Armada, Imperial Assault, that sort of stuff.
Set in a fringy world. Not many people are into it, of the Star Wars.
It's a lesser-known IP.
Yeah, it's not very big at all.
So we're going to talk about the upgrade card. So the upgrade cards and the unit cards.
Correct.
So the game, you bring a bunch of units to the table. Your opponent does the same.
Yep. You
compose your list with the upgrades attached to the unit. So what does a unit card look like? We're bringing up Luke Skywalker as an example here. He's got a faction. He's got points. He's got a name. He's got a unit rank.
Yep.
He has an amount of miniatures that come with him. He has artwork. Yep. He has a unit type. He has 6 wounds, 3 courage. He has a red defense die.
Yeah.
He has an offensive surge. It turns surges to crits. He has no defensive surge. His movement template is 2. And he has 2 weapons. He has Anakin's lightsaber and the Luke's DL-44 blaster pistol. Yep. And he has 3 upgrade slots.
Correct. A lot of information.
That's a lot of information.
I mean, one thing, again, we've mentioned this in the previous videos, one thing you notice with this, characters don't have stats. They have information. And they roll dice. So the other thing you look at is his wounds. So Luke has 6 wounds, and then he has his 3 suppression.
His 3 courage. Yeah.
Courage, yeah. So shall we talk about suppression?
We'll explain what that is. Yeah. So this wasn't covered in the demo at Fantasy Flight. So what we know is speculative, and it's what they've kind of let us
and what Alex sort of hinted towards with us as well.
The idea is when a unit gets attacked in combat, it is assigned a suppression token.
Correct.
Showing that it's under fire. It's harder to activate
every time it gets shot.
Every time it gets shot. Yes. Now at the end of turn, you remove 1 suppression marker from each unit on the board.
Correct.
Now a unit will have a courage value. Most rebel troopers and stormtroopers will have a courage value of 1.
Yes.
Once your suppression markers equal or exceed your courage value, you can only take 1 action a turn.
Correct. You're pinned. Essentially.
Essentially, you're pinned down. Yeah. Once it doubles your courage value,
we believe
you flee. This is what Alex said.
Yes.
We don't actually know how fleeing works yet, but that's how it works.
So it's good in the fact that shooting has an impact in the game, even if you're not killing anything. It has an impact in the game, which is really important because from a real life mechanic, if you're getting shot at, even though you might not be taking hits, it actually has an impact. Like you want to go to ground, you want to dodge. You're not just going to stand up and keep shooting, unless of course you're Vader, which we'll go into in a second. But so I really like that mechanic because it also allows you to, from a strategy point of view, you might have a unit dug in behind hard cover, and we'll go into hard cover and those sort of things later on, where you just can't do any damage. But what you can actually do is make them flee, which is good. So adding that and also minimizes their effectiveness if they haven't activated yet on how much they can do. So they can only take 1 action, so they can only realistically shoot or move. They can't take the aim action. They can't take the dodge action, for argument's sake. So it's a pretty important mechanic, and I think it'll play pretty heavily into how you strategize and how you pick your targets.
So as we'll go over later, the game isn't about destroying your opponent's forces. Correct. That's different to how X-Wing, Armada, Imperial Assault might be.
Other miniatures games.
So it's about capturing objectives and completing objectives. So pinning a unit is probably as good as removing it if you're trying to get to hold a position on the board.
The other thing to mention, once you get pinned, you also get an automatic dodge. So it's like you've gone to ground, so they automatically cancel a dodge.
Prone, I believe.
Correct, yes.
So we'll go over the abilities Luke has. He has 4 keyword abilities.
Yes.
So jump 1 means that after he performs he performs a move action, and he can ignore terrain that is height 1 or lower. So height 1 is 6 inches.
Pretty huge.
That's a huge amount of terrain.
Luke is a jackrabbit, realistically. And we saw this in the game where we played, the second game we played, where you're just bouncing around the board. and I'm trying to shoot Luke, but I was like, you wouldn't have anything of it. which was really good. And talking about that, we'll jump a little bit ahead where he has his deflect before we talk about charge. Because I was shooting at Luke, you had your dodge token, and you were able to deflect shots back at my troopers and kill them.
So what deflect does is, so Luke has no defensive surge.
Correct.
But he has the keyword deflect, which means he can spend a dodge token to gain surge block.
Yes.
Which is cool. And then if it's a ranged attack, it does 1 damage to the attacker.
Correct. Per surge result you roll, which is really, really nice. So if you're Luke and you're rolling, I shoot at you with, say, 4 or 5 of my stormtroopers, I get 2 hits, you roll, you get 2 surges, you bounce 2 lasers back.
Yeah, it seems amazing.
And it kills them, kills 2 troopers. Bang.
He also has charge. Yes. Charge is after you perform a move action, maybe a jump, you may perform a free melee attack action.
And this is maybe a little bit effective. I mean, let's talk about what happened in our game. And I really quite enjoyed this. Like, to me, this didn't feel bad at all.
So I took Luke and I did a jump action on top of a quite large terrain. It would have been around 6 inches tall. I took a dodge token. Some stormtroopers, they valiantly shot at Luke. You scored 1 hit. Yes. One measly hit. I spent my dodge token. And so I rolled my red evade dice, got the surge, spent the dodge token, killed that trooper.
You did. He died.
Then the next turn, I did another jump action, landed in the middle of all four remaining troopers, and killed them all.
Yeah,
with my free melee attack action.
Yeah. Now, in addition to that, I actually rolled some pretty good saves on that.
You did.
Didn't matter.
Because of the next keyword.
Yes.
Pierce. Now, Pierce 2 means that when attacking, you can ignore 2 block results. Correct. Your opponent rolls.
Yeah.
So
everyone died.
He's a house.
He is. Everyone died. He's really flexible. I can see Luke. I think Luke is a very good commander because he is super flexible. You can move him around the board a lot, and he will literally just take out squads on his own. He does some. He's really nasty. And that lightsaber, I mean, the black dice aren't the best dice, they're the middle dice, but still effective, and he gets 6 of them. And even if you're rolling hits, as I said, you just ignore 2 of the character saves.
Well, the black dice are 3 hits, a crit, a surge, and 3 blanks.
Correct.
So the crit is good. The surge with Luke turns into a crit. So you look at hit, crit, blank.
Correct.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, just it hurts. It hurts a lot, and we saw it. And to me, it felt 100% right. Like, to me, if Luke gets into combat with a lightsaber against 4 stormtroopers, those stormtroopers should die.
Before we continue going on, we're not going to go over each individual rule in the game. No. If you want to learn the basics, go watch our demo video we did at Gen Con. That'll cover like the flow of the game, how it works. We're going to be talking about the strategy that we can see in the more minute details that we haven't covered yet.
Yes.
Yeah, so Luke also has a DL-44 blaster pistol, which people may have seen from Destiny.
Yeah.
It has 2 red dice. So 2 red dice with Pierce 2. That's a hit, crit, surge, blank.
Yeah.
That means you have 1 bad side.
Correct. And they're the best dice in the game.
So you roll 2, you're basically going to get 2 hits, and then they ignore 2 wounds. You just get to remove troopers from squads all day.
He's just a gun, realistically.
Yeah, it's only range 1 to 2, but he can move 2.
Yeah.
And then shoot as his second action.
You can jump up high and shoot down on guys. I mean, you can jump in behind, ignoring cover, those sort of things. It's really good. And we'll touch on cover just quickly while we talk about that, because just for people's reference, and there's been a little bit of confusion on this, you have, from what we know at the moment, you have light cover, which is like trees, bushes, those sort of things. That cancels 1 hit.
It cancels 1,
1 hit. Non-crits. Crits ignore cover.
They do.
And then hard cover, which are the terrain pieces you get in the board or
the barricades
and those sort of things, cancel 2, which is pretty effective, really. I mean, if you're a unit in cover and you then also take a dodge, you're cancelling 3 hits out of potential 5 hits from, say, stormtroopers or rebels. So it's really effective. Cover's going to mean a lot in this game. You want to be behind cover. You want to be moving into those tactical positions. It's good. And obviously you take the choice whether or not going aim or cover. But if you want to live and maybe you're going to activate that unit last, you definitely want to take the dodge to try to sustain as many troops and save as many troops as you can.
The last piece of keyword that Luke has is immune. Colon Pierce. That means Pierce cannot be used against him. Correct. So his dodges stay.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. If Vader's smacking him or someone else with a lightsaber or another weapon that has Pierce, it doesn't matter. His saves still contribute to that. Yeah,
and he rolls red evade dice, which are the best ones.
Correct.
They've got 3 blocks, a surge, and 2 blanks.
Yes. And, Luke is 160 points. He's a big character.
Very expensive.
Like Vader. Vader's 200 points, naked. So these characters are they're a large chunk of your army. when we played, we were both trying to kill each other's heroes, leaders. It's very hard.
It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, not with what was on the board.
I think this game's going to be about the objectives. Like you're going to want to spend most of your time trying to fulfill the mission.
Correct.
Rather than just trying to kill as many things as possible.
And then you've got to go sort of, you got to go target priority. It's like, well, do I put 3 troopers shooting into Vader in the hope of, doing a couple of wounds and maybe killing him next turn? Or it's like, I can put 3 troopers or 3 squads of troopers into these 3 squads of rebels or other stormtroopers, depending on what you're playing, and actually have a bigger effect on the game. So, it's target priority is going to be a really big thing in this game.
I agree. So we'll briefly look at some other unit types. There's the stormtroopers, which we've seen in our demos. They have red evade dice, but white attack dice.
Yep.
Interesting. They're actually better in close combat. They roll black dice in range, melee range.
Yeah. Didn't help them against Ewoks, but anyway, we'll
move on. They have the Rebel Trooper, which is it's a bit of a mirror on the Stormtrooper. It has a defensive surge, it has white evade dice, and it has black on both melee and range, which is nice.
The big thing to note between the two is Stormtroopers are actually more expensive than Rebel Troopers. So Stormtroopers are 44 points for 4 units, and whereas
1 more point a guy.
Correct. Whereas Rebel Troopers are 40 points. They both have the same upgrade slots, so you can take if you have a look at the upgrade slots, you've got which looks like a chunkier Stormtrooper.
Yeah, you've got a special weapon.
Yep.
You've got an additional unit, generic trooper. It looks like they've got tech and a thermal, like a grenade kind of thing. We don't know the names of these upgrade slots yet. We're just going to give them pet names until we get there.
So an example with Stormtroopers with the tech, you can take scopes. So scopes is Pierce 1. So I'm not sure if it stacks with Stormtroopers, because Stormtroopers already have Pierce 1.
I would fully expect these values to stack.
Correct, yes. And we'll go through Pierce now as an example. So Pierce... precise allows you to re-roll one.
Stormtroopers have precise.
Yes, precise. So if you're rolling dice, and Stormtroopers are going to want to re-roll dice, they roll white dice. They're not great. They can re-roll 2 dice using an aim token.
2 additional dice.
2 additional dice.
So an aim token normally re-rolls 2 dice, and for every point of precise, you get to re-roll an additional.
Exactly right. So you potentially could roll 4 dice with your Stormtroopers. The other thing Stormtroopers can take, which I would definitely take with my Stormtroopers, is the H12 Stormtrooper, which is the big gun, the big sort of infantry gun that they take.
The cumbersome gun. With impact 3.
Yes, impact 3. It also rolls
3 black dice.
3 black dice as well. So, no, that's the rocket launcher. Sorry, we're looking at the wrong.
Oh, you're thinking of the DLT-19
DLT-19, yeah. So, sorry, this guy has... it's 24 points, adds a special weapon Stormtrooper to your Stormtrooper squad. Impact 1. So what Impact does, just for people who haven't looked at this, when attacking armoured units, you change...
ATRTs or speed.
Yes, correct, or ATSTs whenever they
come out.
Yep. You can change one of your hits to a crits. So crits ignore armor and they do damage to vehicles, basically. So this weapon, it does 2 red dice, which are the best dice in the game. So if you're...
Range 1 to 4?
1 to 4, which is pretty good. We're not sure if one squad has to shoot at all one unit, or if you can split fire. To me,
that is something I'd like to know.
Yeah, but to me, I feel like you'd probably have to shoot at all one unit. But the great thing with this, if you add this to your Stormtroopers, you then have, and with scopes, you're then actually rolling up to 4 of your dice. So your dice, you'd have your 4 white dice plus your 2 red dice, which gives you 6 dice in total. You want to be maximizing that as much as you can. So your red dice are pretty good. The
red dice probably won't need re-rolling.
Correct, but your white dice could. So it maximizes the amount of hits that you can get, which is pretty good. And you can add another Stormtrooper for 11 points generically. So it's pretty good. And concussion grenades are another one you might want to put on there. 5 points. They're pretty cheap. They've got a range 1 black dice, and they ignore cover.
It's just a simple 5 point, 1 black. You can just get through the block. If someone's behind heavy cover, it gets quite difficult to hit them.
Yes.
Just get in there. It's like a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, exactly right. Just do some damage. Away you go. Shall we talk Vader quickly for a bit?
We'll talk Vader just for a bit. He's definitely been a topic of discussion around a lot of people, so we won't spend too much time on him, but the biggest thing that you first knows Vader, he doesn't have a courage value.
Correct.
He cannot be pinned. He cannot be suppressed.
He just walks forward, takes the hits, and just kills everything.
But he's a slow robot man. He's only 1 speed.
Correct. 1 speed. So he has deflect, same as Luke.
Yep.
He has immune to Pierce, the same as well. He's a master of the Force, which is pretty good. That's the next thing. We'll
talk about Force powers in a second.
In a sec. And he has Relentless as well. So Relentless is a little bit like Charge.
It's better than Charge.
Yeah.
It's any weapon.
Correct. So after you finish a move, you just attack, basically.
Yeah. So you can. So The noticeable difference is Vader doesn't have a non-melee weapon equipped to him, but he has the Force Power lightsaber throw he could equip. So you would be able to move and then throw your lightsaber for free.
Correct. So he's pretty good, and he rolls 6 red dice.
Now, just again, they have 1 blank on them, 1 crit, 1 surge, the rest hits.
Yeah.
6 of these guys.
And he has 8 health.
8 hull, yeah. So eight wounds.
Yeah, he's a tank.
He is. 200 points.
200 points without any upgrades. He is extremely good. I don't know if I'd play him. I'll definitely play him just to play the fun of actually playing Vader. But I think if I was playing my sort of serious army, I don't know if I would take Vader because, you know me, I play guard in 40k. I like lots of troops. For me, it's about lots and lots of troops. But he is extremely good.
We'll have to see what the alternatives are right now.
Correct.
Out of the box, there's only 1 commander on each side.
Correct. So this is all you have. And we've put together an army list, which we'll go through in a sec. But he's very good. I feel like Vader will be over to... He's a guaranteed, I will achieve this objective because you want to get out of his way, realistically. So he will walk through, guarantee an objective. It's going to be pretty hard for people to kill him. People are going to get close to him. They're going to die. His force powers are really good. And also his command cards are really, really good.
Oh, yeah. Well. We'll get to command cards in a second, but his ones are really good.
So, but he is a quarter of your points based on what the army size is at the moment, which we believe is 800 points. Which
800 points. I'm pretty confident it's 800 points.
800 points. So, yeah, he's just a tank. He is really good. If he's getting into combat with vehicles, with troops, they're going to die. 6 red dice is extremely brutal. Let's talk about, now that we've done Luke and Vader and Stormtroopers quickly, let's talk about force power, shall we? Let's move into force powers.
We'll just go with the force powers. Force powers are interesting. Force powers give free actions to characters, which, so as we all know, characters can take 2 actions a turn.
Yes.
Moving, shooting, that sort of stuff. But force powers are generally additional actions that don't count to the odds of 2. So we'll look at Force Choke first.
Yes.
Force Choke it's got the exhaustible symbol on the top right there next to the artwork. It's 5 points, which is not much in this game.
Pretty cheap, yeah.
And it's free action. Choose an enemy trooper mini at range 1 that is not a commander. So you're not going to hit Luke, you're not going to hit Vader, and it suffers a wound.
So you just kill a troop.
You just kill a trooper.
That's it. He just picks them up, chokes them, and says...
You kill a 5th of their dice.
Yeah, where are the
6 of their dice, or 4th of their dice, or whatever.
Yeah, and for 5 points, I mean, why wouldn't you do it? 5 points to kill a troop every single time is pretty good. Now, it's interesting it says it's not a commander. Again, we're not sure how these wounds work, but we're not sure if you're able to then pick out special weapons guys, so you can just force choke a special weapons guy, or if you just...
I'm under the impression that the defender takes the wound.
Yes, yeah. So you just remove the troop.
Which makes the specialist troopers a little better.
Yeah, because you would hate to spend 24 points and have him force choke.
One drops a cannon, the other one picks it up.
Yeah, that's it.
So we'll go on to battle meditation.
Yes.
This is a force power that does not have an activated ability. It's not a free action. It's not an action at all.
Correct.
When you issue orders, one of these orders can be issued to any friendly unit on the battlefield.
Correct. So that means because you have range, so things have to be within range of your commander to issue orders and those sort of things. So what this allows you to do is issue orders outside that. So it's a bit like Comlink, which we'll go for again in a sec. But it's basically, which is pretty good. So you just issue orders out to your units. So you might be outside of range, whatever the case may be, which allows you to do it, which is pretty handy. And that's going to be a big thing in the game because we are playing on 3x6. So
you have to be ranged 1 to 3 of a commander, I believe, to keep the issue in order.
Yeah, and you're going to want to spread out, especially with things like speeder bikes and those sort of things, which are traveling so quickly, they could very quickly come out of range, sort of thing. So having that ability is good.
Now, what stands out to me is battle meditation is 10 points, whereas force choke is only 5 points. So that immediately tells me that position is more important than dealing damage.
Correct.
And this is what Alex said. Alex said, you're not going to be able to kill all your opponent's stuff. If you try, you're probably going to lose.
Exactly.
You want to focus on meeting the objectives.
Yeah. So whether it's not, you're stopping them taking the plans or you're trying to blow up a reactor or whatever that scenario will be, that's the way...
Vader's really good at murdering people, but he's maybe not so good at hacking a detonator.
I think he can do one objective. He's going to be struggling to be on multiple places on the board, whereas Luke can do that, obviously, but Vader will be, I'm taking this is the job I'm doing.
They seem very well positioned against each other. They seem like they're designed to be very different.
Yes, yeah.
So the next one is Saber Throw. Now, this is not exhaustible like Force Choke, but it is an attack action. That's what I believe that little half arrow symbol is.
Yes.
It says choose one of your melee weapons, so maybe a lightsaber.
Yep.
Perform a ranged attack with that weapon against an enemy unit at range 1 to 2, using half of that weap's dice rounded up. Yep. This is treated as attack action.
Correct.
So it means Vader's rolling 3 reds at you, and this can be triggered off Relentless, as we said before.
Yep.
So he's just going to lumber in, throw a lightsaber, move somewhere else, like
Thanks
force choke something.
Yeah.
He's a house.
It's literally, to me, that cinematic is him walking down the corridor just killing.
In Rogue One?
Yeah, just killing guys left, right, and center. Yeah, I mean, it's good. The other one is Force Push. I really like Force Push.
Another free action, exhaustible. You choose
10
an
points.
enemy trooper unit at range 1. Now, this does not say non-commander.
Correct.
Perform a 1-speed move with that unit, even if it's engaged. Now, despite what it says, I believe you can move this towards you. So you could bring a unit into base combat with Vader and then just murder him. Or you can... this isn't necessarily villain only. Like, Luke can use Force Push. You can push things around. Now, maybe if there's hazardous terrain or cliffs, you can send things around. Who knows? It'd be interesting.
The thing I really like is you could potentially pull guys out of cover for this.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about cover before. So... you can literally walk through, pull out of cover, and then all your troopers just gun these people down. And
this says enemy trooper unit.
Yes.
This doesn't say enemy trooper mini.
Yeah.
So you pull the commander, and then they have to keep unit cohesion.
Yeah, the whole unit comes out of cover.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like, this is some serious nonsense.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, again, we talked about dangerous terrain. If there's lava, you could push units into lava. I don't know what happens if units go off the board, for argument's sake, but potentially you could push them
Alex
off the board.
didn't mention that.
No. Like you said, off gantries, off terrain. We don't know how the fall mechanic works, but we do know you do take damage when you fall.
There is something, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, that's the force powers we're aware of. I really like them. I think they're pretty diverse in what they do. There's a lot of strategies you can deploy with them.
Before we move on, I want to let people know that you can't use these every turn.
Correct.
So once they're exhausted, they stay exhausted until you take an recover action.
Correct.
That readies them all. Now, Vader, we briefed on this before. Vader has Master of the Force 1, which means during the end phase, he can ready one of his force powers for free. So he could choke every turn. He could push every turn.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane.
Yes.
When Luke's doing it once every 3 or 4 turns, this guy's just like, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah. You come to me, troopers kill them, all that sort of stuff.
Who needs to move quickly when you move once, throw a saber out that way, kill a guy out there? Like, it's crazy. Push a guy out there, like...
yeah, he's so good. Like, he is so good. But as I said,
he's supposed to be. He's 200
It's
points.
Vader. I mean, apart from the Emperor, he's by far the most powerful character in the Star Wars universe.
I'd say so.
Within the Galactic Civil War period.
Yes, because that is when the game is set.
Yes.
Galactic Civil War is what we've been told. There's no hints of prequel stuff. I hope there will be.
Although Alex did say at this stage.
Yes, he did.
So
they're very good at saying things like that.
Yes. So, I mean, who knows what will happen in the future.
Yeah. So move on to the order cards.
All right, let's do the order cards, yeah.
All right, so now that as you may have seen in the demo video, it wasn't as clear as maybe we'd like it to be. This game seems to come down to your order cards.
Yeah.
We believe you have 7 at the start of the game. Now, maybe you bring your own, maybe it's given to you. We don't know yet. But you bring 7 order cards, and you use 6 of them throughout the game.
Correct.
Once you use them, they're gone, except for one.
Except for one.
Comes back. They have a priority, and they have a number of units they activate.
Correct.
So we'll look at My Ally as the Force. It's a priority 2. And it activates 2 troopers. When a friendly trooper unit is issued an order, it gains a dodge token. So that's cool. That comes with Luke Skywalker, so you can see the name Luke Skywalker. It means that I imagine he has to be on the board somewhere.
Correct. And this is something else we don't know. What happens when your commander dies or your leader dies. But yeah, I
imagine it's bad.
Yeah, I'd assume so. If Vader dies, surely the Empire freaks out. About
You just win. Right?
Yeah. But each commander comes with their own unique order token sort of thing.
So there's the standard ones like ambush and stuff that we'll get through. But yeah, each commander comes with their own. Now, this one, so what this means is you get to plan 2 troopers worth of orders. So you could say these 2 troopers are going to activate this game, or this turn rather, and the rest will be randomized.
Yeah.
But you get to get free dodge tokens.
Dodge tokens, which is pretty important. That's cancelling a hit. And as we talked about before with terrain and those sort of things, that's cancelling hits is a big deal.
Well, on a Rebel Trooper, they have Nimble, which means that once they spend a dodge token, they get a dodge token back. So if they're under a lot of fire, they could potentially, even though they're getting suppressed, at least not lose all the guys.
Correct. They're still alive, yeah.
We'll go to one of my favorite ones, New Ways to Motivate Them. This is a Darth Vader one. Priority 2. So the priority is the order in which they resolve.
They call them, Alex referred to them as pips, which in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah.
So the lower the pips, the earlier you activate, or the initiative you get essentially. The higher the pips, the later you activate. And there's a trade-off is the higher the pips, the more units you can assign orders to.
You get to plan for. And you do get to activate every unit in your army every turn. Some people didn't quite get that.
No.
But the lower the number means you get to plan for only one unit, but you get to do that first.
Correct.
Now, we'll explain that a little bit further after we get through these cards. But new ways to motivate them. Darth Vader, 2 troopers. When a friendly non-Darth Vader trooper unit with a face-up order token, so the orders go face-up if you've planned them.
Yep.
When it activates, it may suffer a wound to perform a free action.
Which is pretty cool. Like,
pretty sweet.
It's getting another action, and this might be something along the lines of, again, if you know you're going to take lots of damage from a trooper point of view, you can take, or you've only got, say for argument's sake, you've got 1 trooper, and you've got your special weapons guy and your commander left. You can go, well, instead of taking the 2 wounds where I have to do this, I'm going to kill a trooper to take an extra dodge action, so I can guarantee I'm going to keep these guys alive.
Or you might move, shoot. Like you just need to get into that range. Or if it's the end of turn 6, so the game is 6 turns. End of turn 6, and you need to catch an objective. You just need 100%. to move, dodge, and hold that position.
Yes,
It could just be
that extra. And I really like it the way it is. I just see Vader choking someone and then them freaking out. It's to do their thing.
Assault is 3 units, 3 of any unit. So supports, commanders, spec ops, corps, whatever, and priority 3. Very simple.
This is a generic one, right? That I think that goes back into
There's a few. No, so this one doesn't go back to your hand.
Okay.
There's a 4 that does 1 unit.
Okay.
Push is 2 units, priority 2.
Yep.
Simple as that. Ambush is, this one I think will be very important. Now, it's 1 unit, 1 priority, but as I alluded to earlier, this mechanism is going to be very important.
Yes.
So I think that assuming ambush is in every game, when you use your ambush may swing the entire game. Because for those familiar with the concept PS killing in X-Wing, where you destroy a ship before it can shoot back, this whole game seems to be about that.
Correct.
So if you have, say, let's just use Vader. He's a very exciting, scary villain.
Yeah.
If he's in range of a unit that might claim an objective or do some damage, if you ambush him, program Vader, and that's all you program, but you get to move Vader in and kill that unit before they get their dodge token, before they get to move, that might be the whole game.
Correct.
So this is where these cards really they exacerbate the skill level.
Exactly, and you really want to be careful as to what unit you activate with this. Like when we played, I used it on the speeder bikes because to me it was a sense that the speeder bikes come around and they're an ambushy type of unit. They come around, they shot to pieces your rebel commandos or your rebel troopers, and then they kept going. And it was a good way to soften them up. So they were less effective against.
I lost 2 of them before I shot back.
Correct.
So this is good example of you using your ambush well, and the trade-off is that you couldn't flip Vader when you wanted to because he was in the stack. His command token goes in the pile of the random ones.
It becomes randomized. And that's one thing with this game that I really like. Because you go backwards and forwards, you might be focusing on a particular area going, look, I really need to take this objective. But you can't neglect what else is going on.
No, you can't. It's a huge board.
Because you might think, I'm pretty safe over here right now. I've got this objective wound up. Everything's in terrain. Everything's in cover. I'm feeling pretty good. So you go, I've got to focus over here. But then your opponent's activating his troops to break your dug-in troops over here. And next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, my right flank's folded. I've lost this objective. So really balancing out how and when to activate your units is going to be a really crucial part of the game.
Yeah, I agree. So we have standing orders. This one's a little strange. It's a priority 4, so it's quite late. It's only 1 unit, so it's quite bad.
It is.
But you get it back to your hand.
Correct.
Now, I'm not sure how relevant this is going to be yet.
Yes.
We might see something that ruins your opponent's command cards. We're not sure. But until that point, this seems very bad. But it's going to have a place.
Correct.
I have faith. Return of the Jedi. It's a priority 3. Luke Skywalker and 2 units. So this is a good example of...
and this is one of Luke's unique cards, obviously.
Yeah, that's what's there. So when Luke Skywalker is issued an order, he gains a dodge token. When he activates, each friendly trooper unit in range 1 to 3, if he may remove 1 suppression token. So his aura of leadership is bringing everyone else. He's raising the morale of his troops around him.
Which is really important because if you are suppressed like we talked about, you only get that 1 action. 2 actions is a big deal. You want your 2 actions.
It's enormous.
Yeah, to make whether or not you want your rerolls or the dodges and those sort of things. It's a big deal. And Luke being able to give that to those troops is pretty instrumental.
Yeah. Another one of Luke's, Son of Skywalker. After Luke's... It activates Luke Skywalker specifically.
Yeah. Pick 1. Yep.
Yeah, so after he performs his first attack, he may perform an additional attack. So this is that situation I was talking to you before. If you've got Luke in range of someone holding an objective, maybe it's the bottom of top of turn 6 rather, you don't care about the rest of your army at this point. You activate Luke, you get him in there, you attack, and if he doesn't do the job, you attack again.
Yeah, and it's like it's done. this is where again you'd use it. It's a bit like Ambush, but more deadlier because it's with Luke, where it's like I need this unit to die. I'm going to play this. This unit dies with Luke. Yeah, it's really good.
So move on to a Vader equivalent.
Yes,
it's implacable. At the end of Darth Vader's first activation, he may suffer a wound to shuffle his order token into the order pool. Yeah. During his second activation, he performs one fewer actions. So this is priority 1. Does Darth Vader? So it means you're going to get to him first, and then he gets to go in the rest of the pool and come out later.
Correct, yeah. So you're activating twice.
A little less neutered, but example, you could move, attack, and then later on he flips up, move, attack.
Yeah.
Like that's or throw some lightsabers, whatever you want to do.
And I think if you're playing against Vader, having Vader not activated is terrifying. Because it's like, who's he going to kill? And especially if you've got units around him, you almost want to give him a wide berth. It's like, who's he going to kill? And activating him twice means he can do a lot of damage. That one move becomes less insignificant because it's like, well, I'm going to move him a lot. I'm going to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah. Master of Evil, Darth Vader and 2 units. This is the equivalent of the Luke one. So when this is great. When Darth Vader is issued an order, he gains a dodge token, so he can use that for deflecting.
Yep.
When Darth Vader activates, each enemy trooper unit at range 1 to 2 of him gets 3 suppression tokens. Yeah. That's gonna leave a mark.
It is.
That's 3 turns of suppression.
People are gonna run, and I like the art on this. He's basically got his hand up, just blocking the lights, blocking blasters with his hand. I mean, and this is like just terrifying Vader. Like Vader walks in, and if you're a trooper, it's like, yeah, I'm going home.
If you play this top of turn 3, those troopers are suppressed for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Unless Luke does his thing.
Yeah. And
that's crazy.
That's nasty. This is where commanders will have a big impact on the game as well.
So that's the order tokens. I feel the order cards rather.
Yeah.
I feel that's going to be a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
We'll just go. We're going to move on to force organization. We've got a pre-built force that we're sort of playing around with. Obviously, the core set won't be the only stuff we get to build with. No. But we just want to give an example of how it works. Now,
so 800 points. Yeah, we're talking 800 points. So out of 800 points, I played around with a rebel list, which basically has Vader.
Imperial list.
Sorry, Imperial list. Yes. What did I say? Rebels?
Yeah.
Okay. Shame on me. It'll be an Imperial list, which basically has Vader. Vader will have his Force Choke as an upgrade. And then I have 6 squads of troopers, all with their blasters, with the infantry blasters, which is the DLT 19. So that's five troopers per squad. Mm-hmm. And then I have 2 units of speeder bikes.
So any upgrades on the speeder bikes?
No upgrades on speeder
bikes. So no comlinks?
No comlinks, no.
All right.
And that's 35 troops. So I know it's a lot of people have sort of been asking, is it skirmish or is it sort of epic? To me, it's not quite skirmish. It's more than skirmish.
It's definitely not skirmish, but it's not legions.
It's not 40k. Correct. Yeah. Correct. Now, in saying that, Vader makes up, as I said, over a quarter of my points. Now, as I was saying before, I probably wouldn't use Vader. I would go, and we're speculating here. I'm assuming obviously there's going to be Imperial officers. There's going to be things like General Veers and those sort of guys. So I'd be more inclined to use those troopers.
Make it a little cheaper.
Yeah, to make it more cheaper and get some more squads in there. Get like an AT-ST in there, and eventually throw some more specialty troops. Maybe make my squads a little bit bigger. That's how.
Well, you can add a stormtrooper to all your squads.
Correct. Yeah, so it gives them a bit more survivability. So that's roughly what you're looking at. So for me,
we'll run down what you have to have.
Correct.
Now, forces have to have at least 1 commander. They may have 2.
Yes.
They have to have at least 3 corps units and up to 6. So you're maxed out on troops.
Correct. Yes.
They can have up to 3 special forces.
Yep.
3 support units and 2 heavy supports. Now we haven't seen all these different types in the core set. We've only seen supports and corps and commanders.
Correct.
So there's heavy supports and special forces that we're waiting to see in wave 1.
Yes. And look, I'm speculating a bit here, but I think potentially like what they did with Armada, we may see go up to 1,000 points. I think based on the units that I've done and sort of what I played around with, I think you could potentially go to 1,000 points. Once people get more familiar with the game and the game will speed up a lot more, you could probably go to 1,000 points and have the game run quicker. But in saying that, as far as I know, there's no hard and fast rules as to how many points you can play. So you can play as big a game as you want, I'm assuming.
It diminishes games. So you can play whatever you like, but the tournament structure will be 800 points.
Yeah, 800 points. In saying that, we speculate a little bit about the other things we're going to see. I'm sure it's pretty safe to say that we will see AT-STs, we'll see land speeders, we'll see Death Troopers, we'll see all that sort of stuff.
Death Troopers, Snow Troopers, Sand Troopers, Royal Guard.
Rebel Commandos, Infiltrators, all that sort of stuff. We're hoping that we'll see, we might see racial troops like Wookiee squads and that sort of stuff.
You can keep your Gungans. I'm not interested in your Gungans. I would like Droidicas.
Yeah, and I think you'll see droids and that sort of stuff. I think you will see AT-ATs. But I
really?
think, yeah.
They'd be huge.
It will be huge, but I think it'll be similar to what you look at with X-Wing. They'll be in like an epic format. So it'll be like what you see with the Raiders and the Tantive and X-Wing. Okay. You'll be able to buy the AT-AT, and it might be like a 2,000 point game that you can play. That's how I see it, because otherwise I'm not sure how they would implement an AT-AT, because it would be a lot of points. It'd be a massive figure on the table unless they don't scale it. But for me, like a 1,000 point game, I'd like to see something like Legion Epic, which has the AT-ATs and those sort of things in it. Again, we're speculating. We don't know. But that's just where I would potentially see it go. Rebels, again, you could pretty much put together a like-for-like list with Rebels as well, using Luke. You could take more of the Walkers in with that as well, and come up with a very similar list. I think that's a good place to start. Starting with the core, you could basically buy 2 core boxes, and that'll be enough to run two armies, basically, is what they said. So you buy 2 boxes, you've got a full Imperial army, you've got a full Rebel army. Let's talk about quickly just what we know comes in the box. So...
Right, so what we know comes in the box. You get 2 squads of Imperial Stormtroopers.
Correct.
So that's 5 models of each.
Yes.
You then get an additional heavy trooper for each squad.
Yeah, so you get the rocket launcher guy, and you get the
rifle guy.
And the rifle guy, yep.
Yep. You then get the same on the Rebel side.
Yes.
So they have their equivalent. They've all got weird abbreviations.
Yeah,
Z6 troopers.
Yeah,
that's the additional. He's got like the Gatling gun. He rolls 6 white dice. Cool stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then you get 1 Luke Skywalker, 1 Darth Vader, 1 AT-AT, 2 speeder bikes, and 8 little heavy cover barricades.
Yeah, and then all your Ranger rulers and dice and
Ranger rulers, dice, movement templates, all the stuff you need,
and upgrade cards and all the cardboard.
And that's enough for you to get 400 points on both sides.
Correct.
So what a lot of people are talking about is getting 2 core sets and getting 800 points of each.
Yep.
Maybe you split 2 core sets with a friend and just focus on one side. I believe that this won't be the only product that comes out. I believe they'll bring out... So from what I heard Alex murmuring about, he talked about this isn't going to be like X-Wing. It's not going to be like Armada where they bring out a little bit at the start.
Yep.
It's going to be a full-on release where you have lots of options from day one.
Which I think you have to.
I agree.
And look, the release date... There's been some confusion about the release date. My understanding is December. This will release in December.
Fancy Fly is saying Q1, but our local distribution is saying December, and Alex said December.
Yeah. So what may actually happen is they'll release it December in time for Christmas. It makes sense.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Time for Christmas. And then perhaps what you'll do is you'll see Wave 1 shortly after that. So Wave 1 might be a Q1 thing.
That would make sense.
January, Feb or something like that.
Give people a chance to learn the game.
Get into it, go from there, and then release Wave 1. I hope that is the case. I hope that's what they do. Really looking forward to this game, like nobody's business. To me, that's what it sort of feels like. So, this is just going from the information that we've got from our supplier, I do believe it'll be December release date for this.
I agree, and I'm sort of gearing up towards it. Like I'm working on my Endor board right now to get on our demo table as soon as possible. So. The last thing we're going to talk about before we wrap up this video is the amazing deployment rules for this game. Now, so my first hesitation when I heard about the game, I talked to Alex. I said, "Hey, what about if a table's really like because there might be a different set of terrain, different advantages, different units." I said, "How do you make sure the terrain's balanced?" Like, and as a TO, I'm thinking, "Well, I have to balance all these tables. That's crazy." No, Fantasy Flight have got us covered. Yeah. Each player brings an amount of cards. We don't know how this exactly works, who brings what, but you end up with a 3x3 grid of 3 different types of cards.
Correct.
There's mission objective cards, win condition cards. Then there's the deployment maps.
Yeah.
And then there's the conditions, the gimmicks of the battlefield. So you make a 3x3 grid of this, as you can see on the screen.
Yeah.
We decide who the blue and the red player is by the person who brought the fewest number of squad points gets to choose, or I believe you flip a coin. Starting with the blue player, I believe, they remove one of the 9 cards.
Correct.
Then the red player removes one of the 9 cards.
Yes. And
you keep doing this until you have one of each type of card left, and that's what you're playing.
Correct. So you're basically custom building scenarios for every single game.
You do.
And this is the great thing about this game. There's so many sort of little mini games in amongst these games where they will have a big impact on the overall strategy and overall whether or not you win on the game. So it's not just rolling dice at each other. You really are thinking. There's almost a card element to it where you're really sort of thinking about. Again, well, when do I play this commander, or what do I really want to go for? So there's going to be a whole bunch of sort of bluff when you're sorting out the objective as to what you really want to go. And it might be a point where you go, okay, I don't want to choose this, but I want to make sure this is here. So, and you're kind of trying to rob your opponent of what he wants to do versus what you want to do and how how your army works, which is the other thing. When you're building your army, you're going to have to be really flexible because and the deployment zones are very different. They're
very different.
There's no real sort of, I'm going to make an army to do this, which is how I've traditionally gamed in the past. I will generally build an army and each unit will have a job to do. Now you're going to have to be a lot more flexible in how you're building your army, which is going to open up options a lot more. It's going to get rid of a lot of OP-ness, so because if you just have like a couple of uber things, you're not going to win the game because you're not going to be able to control enough of the battlefield or to do enough of the damage sort of thing. So I really like this mechanic. I
think it's incredible.
Yeah, it's really, really
good. It immediately quelled my fears.
Yeah, that randomized scenario is really good.
So it's sort of random, but it's mainly designed. But it means that you can play on the same table 50, 60 times and not have the same game.
Correct. A different experience every single time.
Yeah, so we don't know how this is going to work for organized play. We don't know, like maybe at a regional nationals level, we're not sure how the grid is formed, but there's plenty of options for cards.
Yeah.
So Alex said maybe there's a set deck for organized play, but at a casual game, bring whatever you like, build whatever you like, and enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we'll just quickly go through, because when we were at Gen Con, someone left a deck of cards, the upgrade cards on the table, and I quickly took some photos of them. So we'll go through some of the other stuff.
We've talked about a few of them.
A few of them, yeah. So we've got the long-range comlink, which I mentioned before. So this is an upgrade, which basically goes on speeder bikes, more or less, which is during the command phase, you may issue orders through...
As though you're in range of your nominated commander. Now, this means that if you have more than one commander, I believe you nominate one every turn.
Correct. So again, we're assuming you'll get Imperial officers. You might have 2 Imperial officers. So yeah, you can use multiple. You can basically issue commands through your speeder bikes to troops, which again, this seems to be a really important part of the game. We touched on briefly the Gatling gun for the rebel troopers.
Yeah, the six white dice.
Yeah, which is I mean, to add 1 troop to give you another 6 dice, it's like adding 6 stormtroopers to a unit basically. It's range 1 to 3.
That's a very good point.
It's a lot of dice. I mean, they are white dice. White dice are really bad. But
but there's 6 of them.
Yeah, there's 6 of them. Exactly right. You can do really, really, really well with that. The other one is the flamethrower.
The ATRT flamethrower. I love this card.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a bit of confusion amongst ourselves. I'm going to clear that up right now. So it's 25 points, not a small amount of points. No. It looks that we could be calling that the heavy weapon upgrade slot because we don't know what to call it yet. It's a range 1 only.
Yeah.
2 black dice. Now that's misleading because it has blast, so it ignores cover.
Yeah.
It has fixed front, so that's a really good part about the vehicles in this game is they have firing arcs.
Correct.
But the pilots generally have a pistol that can shoot 360. Yes, it has spray. Now, this says add this weapon's die to the attack pool 1 time for each mini in the defending unit to which line of sight is not blocked. So that means if you can see 5 stormtroopers at range 1, you had 10 black dice.
Right, you're rolling 2 dice per unit.
You just throw 10 black dice at them.
It's going to hurt.
And make sure and then they can make their saves.
Yeah. It's and blast ignores covers. It's just it's brutal. It's like what a flamethrower should do, right? It's
you get your ATRT in range 1. Like maybe they've done something wrong.
That's it. And we'll put some of these images up, obviously. So
they're on the screen right now.
Yeah, but we'll put them on our Facebook page and that sort of stuff. But I think that sort of covers everything off. There's probably more we could talk about, but I think hopefully gives you guys a good idea. It gives you a good idea of where to start when planning an army. What sort of strategies you can employ, all those sort of things. Both Rebels and Stormtroopers also come with rocket launchers, which is pretty important. The rocket launchers are pretty good for taking down vehicles.
Impact 3, turns 3 hits to crits. Because as we know, armor, the armor keyword that the vehicles have means you turn hits to blanks.
Yes, yeah. So hits don't do anything against armor. Yeah. But yeah, really, really looking forward to this game. Check us out on our Facebook page. If you like what we're talking about, subscribe. It really helps a lot. It helps with the content that we put out. We're going to be doing a bunch of this for those
We're very excited. We hope you're as excited as we are because this game is going to be amazing.
Yeah, we're going to have tables. We're going to be doing a bunch of demos and that sort of stuff when the game comes out. I think I can spoil a little bit for our people in Australia. We are talking to FFG about having this demoed at PAX. At this stage, we're pretty confident that will happen. So, So, if you're coming along to PAX 2017 down in Melbourne...
Which you all should be. We're going to be running a bunch of stuff there. It's going to be amazing.
We will have this... should be having this set up for demo at PAX, which is why you're rushing to get the table together. Mm-hmm. But again, guys, if you've got any questions, we're talking to Alex fairly frequently, so if there's anything that you want to know that he can potentially tell us, ask us some questions. But again, like us on Facebook, subscribe. Those likes and subscribe.
Get the conversation going. Let's just ask us questions, because we can't possibly cover everything we know in one video. We've tried, but if there's anything we missed, just let us know. And if we know it, we'll tell you.
Yeah, and speculate. Tell us what you'd like to see,
definitely.
what units you'd like to see, what sort of army builds you'd like. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. We'll see you next time.